are you?
Hi, Dulce. Am I saying that right, Dulce?
Yes. Do you know what it means?
Right. No, I was going to ask you. Would you tell me?
Dulce, what does it sound like? Have you ever heard
Dulce.
You've been to Mexico, right? Before? You've been to
Well,
Mexico?
I'm pretty good at accents. When I hear someone say it correctly, I'm pretty good
Yeah.
at saying it right.
Dulce
Yeah.
is like sweet, azúcar, sugar.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, so dulce de leche.
Yes.
Dulce
de leche.
Dulce de leche, yeah. I'm thinking when I was...
I like you don't have an accent at all. I can just hear
when
it.
I hear it, I'm good at fooling people. So when I play characters and I have to do a language, like I speak a little Italian and show evil, and I did some Aramaic recently, and I study French, and I've got some European languages, experience. So when I hear it, I say it correctly, and so I can fool people a little bit.
Look at you! You are a man of. You have so much talent. You can speak in many languages, and a lot of people don't know that you actually knew that you wanted to become an actor at 8 years old. How did that happen?
It's like I think it's like oh God, I feel like it's something like I do think actors are born, and then what you do with this gift or this curse is up to you. From there it's about how to maximize whatever your gifts and your skill sets are. And I knew when I was younger that I had some sort of need to perform, but I also knew that I didn't want to be an actor until I was an adult. It's like I didn't want to be a child actor. I didn't want to be an actor right away. I looked at film and television and I thought about it from the adult perspective. Obviously, I looked at many things that had child actors, and I love those films and TV shows. But I was always looking at myself, and I was like, I couldn't see myself as a child actor. I couldn't figure out how I was going to even get to Hollywood, how I was going to get my opportunity. So I felt like it was a long game. I felt like, okay, you go to school, go to college, find a way, you train, you get an opportunity, you get representation. You move to the big city or you move to LA and you just give it a shot. And that's what I did. So it was a long thought out process of about from 8. It was really like a 10-year, just every time, there was no internet back then. It wasn't like I Googled things and go, what do you do? I literally was just like, it was such a slow, patient process of like, one of these days, I'm going to get my opportunity and I'm just going to pursue my goal. And that's kind of what I did.
So you just had the gut feeling that this is what I want. I'm going to go for it, get my career going, get educated first. So when you arrived to LA, how was it? Like, how did you get your first step in the business?
Oh, I remember driving across, and it was like, I was racing to get here. I did a play in upstate New York when I got out of graduate school, did some Shakespeare play just to get, something to do for the summer. And I wanted to do a Shakespeare play, and I kind of like, okay, did that, and I came up, jumped in the car, I drove across country, and I was in a hurry to get here, or get there. I'm in New York right now, but get to LA because I felt like when I get there, there's something there waiting on me. Like it was just the minute I get there, it's like I can't get there fast enough because there's an opportunity there for me. Of course, I race across country. I get there, I start auditioning because I have an agent at the time. Luckily, and every time I go in, I feel like, oh, I'm going to get this, or I'm getting closer, because I was getting to the point where at least I was getting into casting rooms. I was getting into rooms, and I was getting into producers, to see producers, which to me it meant that, hey, they trust you enough to get in front of the producers, and you're getting close. So I raced to get there. So things didn't happen immediately. I think I got my first job, and I was like 3 months after arriving, which felt like forever. But I knew that I was on the right track. Yeah. I mean, I knew I was on the right track. I knew that I was at least being seen, and that I just had to be patient. And that's, saying it is easier said than done. It's a lot of bad times, where you doubt yourself. But for the first 6 months, I was like, I think I made the right choice. First 6 months. And then I started.
You don't regret it at all. You don't regret it.
At first, when you're young, I think you're young and stupid. I think there's a lot of stupidity when you're young. You're just naive. Like you don't need much. You don't, like you eat less, you sleep less, you have this naive quality that allows you to, like, doesn't matter what they say, you're not going to steal my joy. I'm going to come back for more. And I think the older you get, I think you start to think about life and your 401k. You start thinking about your investments. You think about insurance, and you think about your future. And so that's why I think it's one of those things you have to really just go at with a certain mindset before life hits you in the face. So that's what I did. I came out to LA really young, and I was kind of, like whatever, nothing could stop me.
Mm-hmm. Are you investing in businesses as well? Because I know actors, like J-Lo, she has her makeup company now, and she invests in like sports.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I don't have any brands yet. I'm not that big, so I don't have any brands yet. At some point, I like to invest in things and stuff. I still, I invest in products, and I do have a diversified portfolio, as they say. But as far as like having my own brands yet, no. I want to do some producing at some point, maybe some directing. But the brand thing is that's a rarefied area. So maybe one day I'll be branding something.
So what about if your kids want to become actors? Are you okay with supporting a kid, getting into acting?
You said the right word, support. I'll be paying for them for quite some time if they try to become actors. I don't encourage it. I really don't. I'm not gonna lie to a kid and say what's good about it. I'm gonna say all the negative stuff, because I really do feel like when someone wants to get into this business, you tell them all the bad stuff. If that scares them enough to make them try something else, it wasn't for them anyway. Because if I can talk you out of it, then you really don't want it bad enough. Because no one could talk me out of this business. Like, you have to be crazy, a little crazy, to go and do this and to take the rejection. You have to be sort of hard-headed and be deaf, and to also think you're special. You have to think you're special, like, oh, I'm different. I'm different. I'm not. No, that's what I thought. Like, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to be successful, because I didn't think I was like anybody else that was trying it. So I just felt like, yeah, I know there's not that many, but I'm one of those people. So as long as you have that in your head and you don't feel like you're one of those people that are not going to succeed, and you feel like you're uniquely special, which does sound a little arrogant, but you have to you have to show it, but you have to have it, because otherwise someone will talk you out of your dream. And I never felt like someone could talk me out of the dream. You could tell me I'd be homeless, living out of my car, starving, but I gave myself to, in my 30s, I felt like it wasn't going to happen right away. I felt like I had to wait a little while, and so I did. And I think that setting the bar, a reasonable, goal for myself, something that was attainable. And I think that's what you have to set your standards at, set your goals, so something you can actually accomplish, and so you understand like there's a progress to it. So yeah.
Do you think that big moment has come, or do you think you already done it? Are you waiting for that big moment?
I'm not waiting on it. I just don't think the big moment, like there's something about this business for me that never fails to surprise. And so there's always something you haven't done, and there's something that adds to your journey, and it could be something that you didn't expect. And so it's like you just never know. Like, I'll give for an example. So because we're in the subject, I thought of it the other day. It's like, look at Alec Baldwin. What a career, right? He started as a leading man in Hollywood, and now he has this whole journey and arc as a character actor in comedies. Yeah. Who saw it coming, right? You just never know where your journey is going to take you. So you have to be open for this experience, and you have to understand that as long as you have a talent and you're willing to change and willing to be open to something different and unique, you just never know. But that's how I feel. I feel like if I have talent, I'll always be able to do something. So that's why I train, and that's why I worked on my craft. And I just figured, hey, something's going to always be available,
Yeah, or some people don't just wait; they create their own big moment, right? They just create their own opportunity.
Absolutely.
I see a ring in your hand. What is that? The ring in your hand? Your left? I think it's your left hand. Yes.
It's huge.
It's huge. What is
huge?
Oh, wow. That's so
Medusa. I got
Medusa.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Oh, well, I just thought I literally Mattia Baroni was this jewelry designer that I saw in Soho, and she had one of these rings, and of course it didn't fit my big hands. I have a big finger, so I had it custom made. So I was like, well, I want one of these. So she made me one, and that's why I like it. It's one of those things that caught my eye. And I thought, oh, I gotta have one of those.
I thought it was one of your characters' rings or something. I wanted to make sure.
No.
Okay.
No, there's always a story behind everything, but I'm sharing.
That's a great thing that you can keep some of your character stuff, right? Do you have any of that? Like, do you have any of Luke's
I'm big into characters' clothes. I like to steal clothing, or sorry, steal. I like to find clothing that my character wears in my closet. Put it that way.
Mm-hmm. So this is
Yeah.
the second time that you get to work with Hilary Swank, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. So this
Yes.
is a very sexy thriller, as you describe it. It is, and it's just mind-blowing because you think you got it, and then you're like, wait, I'm confused. It's it did a great job playing with your head. So can you talk to me about this second time that you get to work with Hilary Swank and your experience about it? And did you film this film while quarantining or before the?
No, we did this quite a while ago, over a year ago.
Okay.
I hadn't worked with him since $1 Million Baby, and she's great as usual, phenomenally talented. Again, a different role, something that I hadn't seen her do, like a femme fatale kind of role. She's gracious, very talented, and just a great person to have on set. So I had a great time. I hadn't seen her in years, so I was happy to reconnect with her. And the film is just different. Like $1 Million Baby is just, classic film about boxing, or boxing as a backdrop to the human heart tale of redemption and loss and regret. And here we have this, this femme fatale, Fatal Attraction film that has this air of mystique and intrigue and faster pacing. Just a different kind of film altogether. So I think, finding these kind of films, actors that can do multiple things, I think that's what this is all about. So this film has nothing to do with the film we did previously. So now I think audience members can enjoy her and see her in a sexier side, her more manipulative side. That's what's going to be intriguing about this film.
What about your character? What do you think it's different?
Well, Ray, I'm always looking for a guy that, you never see coming. You don't know what he's up to. I look for characters I haven't played before, characters that are different than my own personality. Rafe is a guy that, he's Michael Ealy's character's best friend. They were in the sports field together. They have a passion for sports. They wanted to stay around it, the love of it, because they felt like, hey, if I'm doing this for a living, then I'm not working, and they wanted to build an empire. And that's what they built, an empire. Two guys who love each other, trust each other implicitly, building an empire together and flourishing, thriving, and having the best life ever, private jets, big clients, big parties. And then Michael Ealy's character, is gets married, and changes things quite a bit, as things would happen between guys. My character's still a bachelor, losing my best friend in a different way, but I'm happy for him. And this film, takes us on a journey. We're hanging out, and Hilary Swank's character enters, and it's like, hey, it's an opportunity to have some fun. And what do friends like myself do? Rafe, what does he do? He says, hey, why not encourages this kind of behavior? And sometimes you make mistakes, and that's where the story gets very interesting.
It is, and you're keeping yourself very busy. You're doing Evil on Netflix as well. You're doing a bunch of stuff. Is there anything that we should take a look at that you can surprise us with?
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously this is coming out December 18th, and then it'll be on video on demand at some point, Fatale at some point. We were filming our second season of Evil right now. You can watch the first season right now on Netflix, catch up with that. Monster Land on Hulu, also available. Social Distance is also available on Netflix.
That was great. I saw that episode. It was very funny. I like the way you play your character. Very different.
So got stuff going. Till Death is another movie that I filmed, and hopefully that'll be out sometime early next year. That's hopefully it will be a very interesting film. So I'll hopefully be back to promote that at some point.
Well, that's great that you're keeping up with the changes and you're keeping yourself busy. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you for this interview. Muchas gracias. Bye. Cuídate.
Thank you, Dulce.